Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of looking at board games. I haven't actually thought of a proper name for the video series yet. Probably should work on that, but yeah. Today I'm going to have a look at this one here, Codenames. Now I will be bringing it up on Tabletop Simulator just because it will be a bit easier for me to work with. So, there we go. Alright, so here we have a whole heap of words, and you basically have two teams. So, this can be a, let me have a look at the back of the box. It can be a 2 to 8 player game. So it's two teams, basically, and they're trying to get all the words that correspond to their colour. So this is why I have this thing here. So this tells you what words out of this grid are for each team. So for instance, like these words here are all red as corresponding to this grid here. And blue ones, there's some blue ones down here, there's one over here. Alright, but anyway, before we get to that, so once you've got your teams and you have your series of words and you have one of these, first thing you'll need to do is figure out who's going first, which you'll find, which this tells you here on the outside. It's color coordinated. So for this one, blue will go first. Let's see, this one, there we go, look at that. This one, red would go first. And the team that goes first also needs to get one extra word. So for this one, it is 9 words for blue. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 8 words for red, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yes. And this one would be the opposite. 9 for red, 8 for blue. Now, there are also some spaces that are for neither team, and they're just like civilians. And there is also a black space, which is this guy. And if your team gets the space or accidentally chooses the space that is the black space, then you automatically lose. So, as you can imagine, the aim of the game is to get all the squares that correspond to your team. So you'll have a spy master who will be in charge of your team, and his goal is to try and give the rest of his team a clue as to where the words for his team are. So you do that by looking at what words you have here. You can't use any of the words on the board unless they're covered up. So, you know, if you wanted to use unicorn for whatever reason, you couldn't unless it was covered up. So you have to try and think of other things. So let's see what we've got here. I'm trying to think of a... Alright, so here we go. This doesn't work for both, this would work for both sides, but get each side 1 point. So I see that London is 1 for blue and Tokyo is 1 for red. So you could say like a city, you could say city or capital, because those would both work. Tokyo is, yeah. And it's then, you can then say a number afterwards. So if you wanted to take a chance on your team getting that, even though each side has 1, you could say like, you know, city 1, and they can guess. They know that there's 1 for their team, but they can guess up to 2. So they might if they got Tokyo first, they might go, oh, you know, London's also a city, and then find out that that was right, that was for the other team. Yeah, without trying to think about it too hard, that's about the best I can come up with at the moment for trying to tell you to give you an idea of what the aim of the game is. So yeah, then as you go along, you know, you'll start covering up your words. So let's just say Blue went first, so let's do them. So if Blue went first and say they got London, we'll just say that happened. They can either choose to have a second go, depending on the number of guesses they're allowed. So you can stop. You have to guess at least one. So they've said that there's 2 things that you can get. So whatever word it is, 2. You can have you can have up to 3 guesses, but you have to have a minimum of 1. So if they decide to stop there, it'd then be red team's turn. They might get, say, that one and that one, and I don't know, let's say they get 3, and then they pass, and then obviously Blue has to try and do a bit of catching up. So he might, you know, go for something a bit random, like maybe stuff that doesn't necessarily link together, in the hope of getting his team back in. But yeah, that's pretty much how that goes, and that goes on until either one team gets all theirs right, or one team finds the black spy. And then you can then what happens is, once you've got a winner, these can all be flipped over. Oh wait, they can't in this version. Well, if you have the physical version like this, all the cards are double-sided. So if you had this set of cards, you could flip them over and they would have a different word on the back. But unfortunately, tabletop version does not have that. So if I just say reset, let's say we delete these cards and we'll deal some new cards. Alright, so now you've got a new set of cards, and you've got, you know, if you want to, you can stay with the same people who give you the clues, or what usually happens is you just rotate around until everyone's done it. Alright, so now you've got a new list of words and a new grid, which tells you where your words are. And so now it all just starts again. One of the things you can do, if you sort of either getting really desperate or you believe it can actually happen, is you can do an infinite number of guesses, and people can keep going as long as they're getting it right. I've only ever seen that happen once, and it actually helped the team win. They were behind by like 3, they probably had 3 or 4 words to get, and somehow the guy gave them a word that got them all of them. So that was quite amazing, really. So yeah, this is pretty much Codenames. There are other versions of Codenames. There is a adult version of Codenames, which I don't have, and I think there's a children's version as well, and I think there's also a picture version, so instead of words it's pictures. I think that's it. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head. So yeah, there are a few versions that you can definitely play. Pretty sure they're all about, I haven't actually got any others, so I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure they're all 2 to 8 players. It's ages 14 and up, and it says it takes about 15 minutes, which is probably about right. It obviously depends on how easily it is to sort of get words that correspond to, or give hints that correspond to the words that you need. So, I mean, I'd say the longest game I probably had is half an hour, and that was probably with eight people. I think we had 8 people. So, because, you know, You can put a timer on it if you so desired, if you wanted to work that way. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that. I don't believe there is like a time limit in the normal, but I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could definitely make one. Let me just have a look. Other things about Codenames. Let's see. For me, I think it was about a $30 game. I've had it for a little while, so I can't really remember. I'll bring it. Hang on, just give me a second. I'll bring it up on. I'm sure I can find a website that sells it. Alright, here I've got it. These are the guys who usually deal with the company where I buy games, so let's see what they have it as. When my thing loads. Yeah, no, the rulebook doesn't say anything about a time limit. That is not a price. Here we go. Well, I've got it here a couple of different places, so it's about $27, $28. So you're looking at probably somewhere, most of these, you're looking at somewhere between $25 and $30 to get Codenames, depending on where you go to get it. Actually, the adult version appears to be a lot more expensive. It's about $37, and the pictures one, on the few sites that have it, most of these are eBay ones. Doesn't appear to be an actual site that has it listed at the moment, but they're a little bit cheaper, about $20 to $25. So, but you can definitely expect to probably pay between that $25 and $30 mark for regular Codenames, and the other ones should be about the same, but could be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending. But obviously just check if you have like a local board game shop, then check them out, see what they have it as. But yeah, I think for me it was probably about $30, so yeah, that is it. So again, if you played Codenames, leave some comments below, tell us about your games, tell us if you enjoyed it, all those things, like what you think of the game, whether you enjoyed it, what your games are like. If you played any of the other Codename versions, you can tell us about those if you want. All those things are good, so anything that you have, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, I don't know what the next game will be. I have a few in the cupboard. I'm sort of just picking one at random and talking about it. I definitely want to do Talisman, might be the next one. I think I said that last time and then I didn't do it, but I definitely do want to do Talisman at some time. It's just such a big game that I'm almost going to have to break it down to base game and then expansions, and the same with Legendary. Marvel Legendary, I have that, but I'm almost going to have to break that down to base game and expansions as well, which will take a lot of time, so we'll see how we go. There will definitely be more of these. I'm enjoying doing them, so yeah. I've got a board game weekend coming up this weekend, so hopefully I'll discover some more board games that I want to buy, because that's just what I need. I already know that there's a couple that I want to get, so yeah, probably have 3 or 4 more that I want to get after this weekend. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.